if I see national security as the umbrella, right? So without national security, you can't control your borders. There's no stability in terms of your key infrastructure. There's risks of attack. If you actually can't get that right, it doesn't matter how cheap your energy is. It don't mean shit. You've got nothing.
Correct.
Right? So then this is the chicken and egg thing, whereas the flip side would be energy is the basis of giving you the financial capacity and the ability as a society via a government to go and invest in the things that are going to provide that security.
Correct. That's exactly right. You need to you need to have the situation where what you're doing is you're making it affordable and incentivized to have a great economy that's diversified in its industry, and then you're prepared to commit a good amount of your GDP into your R&D for your defense.
So
and the one thing I would say too here is when we talk about that, if we go back 40 or 50 years and you talk about a percentage of GDP as a spend for your military capabilities. For example, we used to say, like, Australia had an aircraft carrier, but we couldn't afford to keep them. It was just too expensive for the size of our economy. But today's world with asymmetric warfare, we only need drones and a few different missiles and things like that. So, it doesn't mean that you'll get away with not spending. It just means that there are areas that you can spend on that you don't necessarily have to go with the big aircraft carrier, the intercontinental ballistic missiles. But at the moment, we're not looking at any of that sort of stuff.
I think we need to, right?
Or we're not looking at it enough.
Because if you see how effective Ukraine and now Russia have been in terms of drones and the impact that they can have, and then you look at the cost of our current commitment that's now under review to AUKUS and the time that's going to take, right? And the money that's going to cost, it doesn't add up, does it?
No, not at all. In fact, I can see, like, Australia does need submarines. They're quite useful to have, not be able to see what's around our coastline. It's helpful. But I think that we haven't exactly allocated the funding and the resources the right way. And it's not my area of expertise, but I certainly know that even the US has been looking at the cost of using, $1 million missiles to shoot down, hundreds of dollars of drones that the Houthis use.
Yeah.
So it is one thing that has happened is asymmetric warfare has really changed. And in fact, the Ukrainian attack on Russia about a month back, where it looks like they snuck their drones into Russia and then hit their planes,
like in some truck, right, or a couple of trucks. Yeah.
Now, from a Western perspective, you could be like, oh, brilliant, well done, got the Russian planes. But in truth, everyone should be in panic mode, because that means right now we don't know whether terrorists, whether state actors, whether the Chinese have got thousands of these things parked anywhere, ready to go. They're out near the RAF base. They're, where are they? Yeah. Because it means it's that easy now to hide things. And if a drone's only going to go, 20 kilometers now, so it's quite concerning, to be honest.
Yeah. So Dave, I think we landed on energy is the core.
Energy is the foundations.
Like without energy, national security.
Well, how far do your tanks go without your petrol?
National security is almost theory.
And also, how far do your drones go if you can't replace the batteries?
Yeah, I get it. What about Dave? So we spoke earlier about Russia and how it used its energy resources as leverage over Europe. In a worst case scenario, right? What could that have ended up in? Like if Europe and Vlad started punching on seriously and Vlad closes the pipes, how significant is that?
It'd be incredibly significant.
Does Europe go into darkness?
Not quite, but not far off. It certainly would have to scramble to try and find alternatives, and then of course that would cause one of the reasons why they're careful about the sanctions on Russia with the price setting of price caps and what they can sell for, rather than just say you can't sell and they squeeze it down. Is, can you imagine just sort of taking 30%, 40% of energy out of the world's economy? Because at the end of the day, as much as, say, using the West and Russia as a very loose delineation, countries like Pakistan, India, they didn't care what the West is doing. If they can get oil at $30 a barrel from the Russians, they're taking it. In fact, to them, they think we're idiots because we'll continue to accept $110, $120 a barrel out of our own hubris.